Hello, and welcome to session 2 of Praying with Broken Hearts, Spirituality for Difficult Times. I'm Father Joseph. So today we start with praying our humanity. Some of you might be curious as to why would we start with that? Why wouldn't we start with some lofty description of God? The truth is that we have to start with our humanity because that's our starting point. We know ourselves. We are human beings striving to know God. And so we need to know our minds, our hearts, our bodies, and appreciate them and understand them. So we start with, what does our humanity mean for this spiritual journey? In the workbook, I'll be inviting you to reflect on the many meanings of human. What does it mean to be human? Now, you'll have a lot of time to answer that one. But I invite you to reflect on a piece of scripture as you do so. In Genesis, we have a description that God created us, created humankind in God's own image. Theologians throughout the ages have wondered exactly what that means. So what does it mean to you? What do you think? And then in the second chapter of Genesis, we have God creating Adam and Eve, the difficulties that they encounter, the mistakes that were made. And yet, even as they are cast out of the garden, God makes them clothing. Even after Adam and Eve disobey God and break the one thing God told them not to do, God makes them clothing. So, even in the midst of our humanity, in the midst of even mistakes, God still loves us. So what does it mean to be human? How might you get in touch with your humanity? Are you perhaps a thinker? Are you someone that lives up in your head a lot? I sure am. Are you someone who lives in your heart and you feel things very strongly? You feel acutely other people's emotions, or perhaps you cry when you watch a really sad movie or even a sad commercial. Maybe you're very in touch with that, or perhaps you get angry easily. Or are you kind of a body person? Are you someone that loves to be active and do all sorts of things? Are you someone that loves to play sports or games, to go out and be physically active? That's very important to you. Now, all of those parts are essential to being human. Our minds, our hearts, our bodies, all essential. So, how might you be in touch with the other parts of you? If you're a thinker, how might you get in touch with your heart and your body? Or if you're in your body, how might you really get in touch with your mind and your heart? Because all of these things together help make us human. And what of the soul? What does the soul mean to you? The soul isn't something that ultimately is distinct from my humanity. It's not a part that just gets separated out as if the body and the mind and the heart were nothing. But they're together. They are connected. God created us to have bodies and minds and hearts. All of these things together, and our souls, all of those things together make us human. How might we treasure all of those parts? And similarly, how might we appreciate and understand all of the limitations that those bring? We discover as we go along that our minds, we might not have the right opinions. We might have to change our minds about something. Or perhaps we don't think as well as we once did. Or even our hearts. Maybe we struggle with emotions that overwhelm us frequently. Or our bodies, where perhaps a physical limitation, some kind of illness or disability, or even getting older. I sure feel it as I get older. Perhaps those things, those limitations, those are all things that we will be looking at as we go along and cherishing our humanity in the midst of all of them. No matter whether we are gifted, whether we have difficulties, we are children of God, made in the image of God. So take some time now. Reflect. What does it mean to be human? What is your experience of being human? Are there other scripture stories that come to mind when you think about being human? And how might you pray? How might you pray to God about your body, your heart, and your mind? See you in the next session.